You're sitting across the table from someone you love. They yawn. You don't think about it. You don't decide anything. Your mouth just opens, and a second later, you're yawning too. You tell yourself it's because you're tired. That's the easy answer. It's also wrong. What just happened on your face has almost nothing to do with sleep. It is older than language, older than fire, stranger than almost anything else your body does without asking your permission first. The real reason you just copied a stranger's open mouth is far stranger than tiredness. And once you see it, you'll never watch a room full of people the same way again. Here's the part that should stop you. It didn't happen with everyone in that room. If a stranger across a train platform had yawned at you instead, you probably wouldn't have caught it. Not as fast. Maybe not at all. Your brain isn't spreading yawns randomly through a crowd. It's running a hidden calculation every single time, sorting the people around you without ever telling you it's doing it. And it has been running that exact calculation since long before anyone gave it a name, long before anyone thought to ask why a yawn moves through a room like a current under still water. For most of human history, nobody studied this. Nobody needed to. Yawning was just something a body did. The way blinking is something an eye does, too ordinary to question. Then, in the 1980s, a psychologist named Robert Provine sat people down in a lecture hall at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and tested something nobody had bothered to test before. He showed them short videos. Some were strangers yawning. Some were strangers smiling. Which one spread through the room like a wave? The yawns won, every time, moving through rows of seated students faster than the smiles ever did. In a later experiment, Provine didn't even need video. He simply asked people to read a short passage about yawning. Nothing more. Within half an hour, 88% of them yawned anyway, just from being told the word, as if the idea alone was enough to flip a switch behind their eyes. Their bodies acted out the behavior before their minds had finished reading the sentence. Provine started describing humans as a kind of herd, moving through old involuntary scripts so familiar that almost nobody notices them happening in real time. Doesn't that unsettle you, even a little, knowing your own body might be doing this exact thing right now? There's a strange exception, and it might be happening to you right now without you realizing it. Later researchers found that the contagious yawn weakens, sometimes almost disappears, the moment a person feels watched. Put a camera in the room, tell someone they're being filmed or observed, and their yawning drops sharply, even while everything they're seeing on screen stays exactly the same. Somewhere underneath conscious thought, a part of you is editing your own body for an audience, suppressing a signal that fires automatically everywhere else. You're not just catching yawns, you're sometimes quietly hiding that you caught one. It gets stranger once you ask who you actually catch a yawn from. In 2011, two researchers named Ivan Norcia and Elisabetta Pelagi spent a year quietly recording who yawned after whom, in offices, living rooms, and cafeterias across 4 continents, watching people who had no idea they were part of an experiment. They weren't interested in strangers yawning at strangers. They wanted to know if closeness changed anything. It changed everything. People caught yawns fastest and most often from family, slightly slower from close friends, slower again from acquaintances. Strangers barely triggered a response at all, even when the yawn happened right in front of them. Nationality didn't matter. Gender mattered only slightly. The closer the bond, the faster the yawn spread, almost like your body was quietly grading how much you cared about the person across from you, and reporting the result before your conscious mind even noticed. That single finding turns a yawn into something closer to a hidden social instrument than a sign of boredom. There's a more complicated version of that same finding, and it comes from children. In 2007, a researcher named Atsushi Senju showed yawning videos to 2 groups of kids in London. Some were developing typically. Some were on the autism spectrum, meaning their brains process social signals, like faces and eye contact, differently from most people's. The typically developing children caught yawns the way most adults do, fast and often. The children with autism, on average, barely caught them at all, watching the exact same footage. It would have been easy to stop there and call it a simple lack of empathy. Senju's later research didn't let the story stay that simple. When researchers specifically told the autistic children to fix their eyes on the yawning face in the video, the contagious yawning came back, almost matching the typically developing group. The wiring wasn't missing. The attention was just pointed somewhere else. What does it mean that your body can reveal something about emotional closeness before a single word gets spoken, and that something as small as where your eyes happen to land can change the entire signal? None of this is even uniquely human, and that's the part that should really change how you see it. Chimpanzees catch yawns from chimpanzees they recognize and barely react to ones they don't. Researchers studying primates, including work led by James Anderson, found that chimps watching footage of other chimps yawning would start yawning themselves. A behavior once thought to require a level of self-awareness scientists weren't sure animals even had. Dogs catch yawns from the humans they're bonded to, not from any mouth that happens to open nearby, suggesting the connection runs in both directions across species. Wolves do it inside their packs. Some monkeys do it. Even budgerigars, a small species of parrot, show signs of it. Scientists have looked for it in ravens, intelligent birds by almost every other measure, and so far found nothing, which only makes the pattern more interesting. Across every species where it does appear, one thread keeps repeating over and over in completely different bodies separated by millions of years of evolution. Yawning spreads fastest through animals that already live, hunt, or sleep in tight bonded groups. That's the twist almost nobody sees coming. Contagious yawning may not be about politeness or boredom or even empathy in the gentle way you'd expect. It might be older and far more practical than emotion itself. One competing theory, developed by researcher Andrew Gallup, suggests yawning helps cool a brain that's running slightly too warm, pulling cooler blood up and pushing warmer blood out through the neck like a built-in radiator nobody asked for. If that's even partly true, a yawn moving through a group might once have worked like a silent signal flare. One member's brain shifts state. The rest of the group's brains shift with it, almost in formation, not out of kindness, out of shared biology, shared temperature, shared exposure to the exact same night air. A cluster of early humans sitting around a fire at night didn't need words to agree it was time to grow alert or time to finally rest. Their bodies were already deciding it for them, passed mouth to mouth in the dark, long before anyone could ask permission, long before anyone needed to. So which is it really? Empathy or survival wiring wearing the disguise of a habit? Maybe it never had to be only one of those things. Either way, you're still running that exact system today, every single day, almost always without noticing. You feel it on a video call. When someone's yawn through a tiny screen still gets you, even though there's no shared air and no shared room between you anymore. You feel it scrolling through a stranger's yawn in a video late at night, your jaw stretching open before you've even finished reading the caption underneath it. You feel it in a classroom, a meeting, a long car ride, one yawn quietly tagging every face in the group within a few minutes, like a private vote nobody agreed to take. You feel it most of all around the people you're closest to, the ones whose yawns seem to land inside your chest before you've consciously registered their face moving at all. Every one of those moments is your nervous system quietly running a test that predates spoken language. Who is actually close to me? And who is simply standing nearby? You never decide that test. You never have. Your ancestors didn't either, sitting in firelight long before anyone wrote a single word down, passing an invisible signal from one tired face to the next, binding a group together one open mouth at a time, one shared night at a time. And somewhere, right now, someone you love is about to yawn near you. Your face is going to answer back before you even realize what's happening. Not because you're tired, because something ancient is still deciding, quietly and constantly, exactly who you belong to.